I think we are live. I think we are live once again. Um, I was gone for a long time. I didn't do a lot of these shows in English with a special guest, and today is one of these shows with a very special guest, as you can see on the screen. Today's guest is Bobby Big Ox from Player's Choice. Bobby, what's up, man?
What's going on, Mario? How you living, man? How you doing?
Flexing, man, like them Sacramento
Yeah.
Kings, man.
Right
You're
on,
uh,
right
you're
on.
great fan of Sacramento, man. We will be talking about them later. I really appreciate you stopping by here, man, today on the MOP podcast, the Mario Berandi podcast. So I'm really appreciate you coming by, man.
No doubt, man. The pleasure is mine, bro. The pleasure is mine.
So that's it. Welcome everybody to the MOP podcast. So man, I've been wondering and thinking obviously about the Lakers and the whole pick and roll defense, paying attention more to little details. Obviously,
Hmm.
you played basketball at a very high level and you have knowledge very much more than me. I'm sorry, and I would like to know your opinion about this topic that I've been intrigued for the last couple of days. Um, we've seen that the Warriors' main objective in a lot of possession is to bring AD outside of the paint, right?
Yeah.
And when AD comes up and he gets out of the paint, he obviously Lakers, the other four Lakers players, one of them is forced to rotate to the paint, right? In some
Yeah.
cases, it was what can you tell us about the principle of always the principle about always being someone that is protecting the paint? Do you think what do you think about that?
Well, that's basketball 101. Basketball 101 is on defense. Defense 101 is staying in between your man and the basket. So, we have to have so with that being said, we always have to have somebody protecting the hoop. So if you can force a shot blocker of Anthony Davis's ability to not be there protecting the rim, then you got a leg up on your opponent. So the fact that the Lakers were able to go up 3-1 with the Warriors running that, that just showed how good of a team they are, and deceptively how good of a coach Darvin Ham is. Darvin Ham has gotten a lot of slack this year, and I personally don't like it. I think he's a very underrated first year coach.
And he's a rookie, as you mentioned, so
Yeah.
it's been difficult. That's something that not a lot of people have talked about in this series. The matchup between Steve Kerr and Darvin Ham. Darvin Ham, I think, is a great leader of men. He's
Hmm.
great leading the guys, leading the troops. Saying the right things, being tough sometimes on guys, but the experience and the winning mentality and then the philosophy of Steve Kerr is different, man. When you have like 8 rings, 7 rings,
Yeah.
it's different. But obviously, my question, obviously, as you mentioned, that's basketball 101. There's always has to be someone protecting the paint. But
Yeah.
in my case, trying to think a little bit, a lot more simpler, or way more simply, um, why why teams can maybe say, well, okay, in some possessions we are gonna stick with the man in the corner with the 3 point shooter and not come and go and protect the paint. What do you think about maybe the statistics or the math between giving a 3 pointer than giving a layup at the rim?
That's a good point, Mario. Because when you think about it that way, nowadays a lot of offenses are searching for that 3 point shot. So nowadays, I think you would have a little more a little more leeway on the defensive end to where maybe if we get caught slipping without having a defender under the rim, we more than often we will be okay because they're not really looking for the rim anyway. As far as defense goes and defensive schemes and whatnot, I'm not sure what it is in the NBA because obviously I never made it to the NBA, but just like I've had a couple of coaches in college as well as high school where we'd get to like a playoff run and we'd spend all week focusing on this possession. We're gonna run this defense. We're gonna throw a different look at it. We're gonna throw a different look on them. Sometimes depending on who's like our captain or point guard, they're communicating with coach at all times, and they're letting us know. They're letting us know on offense on the way down here, with defense we're getting back in. So sometimes I don't see much of that like in the NBA defensive schemes like that, but I don't think it would hurt to sometimes switch it up. Like, okay, we're gonna play drop coverage. Now we're gonna trap. Now we're gonna force them to we're gonna force the point guard to give the ball up before the screen even comes by. Just shooting a double team early, a high double to get him to move the ball. I mean, different looks. I don't think you can. It would hurt, especially with the way the offense is ran more often today. Just searching for that three ball. I mean, you watch nowadays. You can see a lot of times where guys will get 3 feet away from the basket and just
and give up the
kick it
leg.
out to kick it up to the shooter. And I don't
Close,
like that. What'd you say?
like Ben Simmons, like Draymond last night.
Yeah,
Being around the rim and being scared, and you want to
yeah.
pass the ball. Man, you touch on a very good point. The communication, man, the communication that you need to have on defense. Obviously, being prepared, and obviously being sometimes over prepared, as you mentioned, going by schemes and different things. What do you think about the rules? Obviously, you mentioned that nowadays it's a serious threat. The fact that these shooters, man, are coming into the league, man, shooting like 10,000 shots, man, during his life. Um, how much do you think that the rules impacted the way that the defense is being played? Because in the past, I think that people don't talk about this point a lot, or we take it for granted. When it comes to the evolution of basketball, the fact that in the past, the centers can literally sit in the paint.
Mhm.
Nowadays, they can't do that. They have to stay away, even though the referees don't call shit. But they have 3 seconds most of the time. But how much do you think that was the impact of the rules when I think it was in '03, something like that?
I think it was 100% driven by the rules, which was driven by the money.
Yeah,
The
joke, right?
NBA, yeah, they start getting those big TV deals, and so it was about the money. Like we need, back in those days, the '90s, you would have games even in the playoffs or regular season where the games would end maybe a score of 81 to 89 or something. Nowadays you don't see that. Those are scores 3 minutes into the third quarter now. They want the casual basketball fan doesn't understand the intricate things about basketball and the art and science of basketball and the pick and rolls and the cross screens from big men to get across really playing basketball the original way that I was taught. And so now that's not intriguing to the casual basketball fan. The casual basketball fan wants to see Steph Curry and all the amazing shooters that are today. And there were amazing shooters then too, but the amazing shooters today, they want them to just shoot the ball, shoot the ball. We'll get some highlight dunks, some fast breaks. That's for capitalism. And I can't be mad at businessmen for wanting to make money, but I think it has the style of basketball has taken a hit for the businessmen wanting to make money. And so I can't be mad at it. I don't enjoy it as much as I enjoyed basketball when I was coming up. I watched a lot of late '90s basketball, early thousands. I love to see. I love the old style when you had a big center and another, two bigs on the court. Um,
Feeding the posts.
yeah, feeding the post. Tim Duncan, David Robinson, even
Hakim.
Hakeem. A guy, big, big guys that would get on the block and hit a open up face, hit a spin move, jump hooks. Had real footwork. Nowadays, these big men that they're allowing to play nowadays, they don't. You can't even post them up and drop the ball down because they don't got any skill down there. They don't.
Like
They
Rudy,
don't.
Cat,
Right. I think besides Anthony Davis, um,
Joker.
Joker and Joel, you can't really post anybody up. And I will even say even Domantas Sabonis. I was shocked by what I saw in the playoffs. The fact that he refused to make another move. He was just kind of bullying him, just trying to get that jump hook up. Back in the day, if you can come here, you can drop your left shoulder, come to the right. You can open up, attack this way, attack left. Just make actual post moves. You don't see it anymore. And I grew up that way. I loved Kevin Garnett, Rasheed Wallace, Chris Webber, Tim Duncan, just the bigs that I came around seeing. So it's a change, and it's good for the sport, I suppose. The sport's going more worldwide. I've been in Mexico a few times this year, training some
Yeah, I've
kids
seen
down
that.
there.
I've seen that
Yeah,
in your
so I
stories.
mean, yeah, so the game is it's worldwide now. So if that's what it took for other countries to start loving basketball, then I guess I'm okay with that.
and as you mentioned, has shifted into offense, because that was the next question. The next question that I have for you. Why do you think? Obviously, that would have to be one of the reasons. But what do you think is so difficult to come up with a new defensive scheme, like a new, like a revolutionary thing or something new? Because we have seen like little changes, obviously with Steve Nash and Mike D'Antoni with the
Mhm.
7 second less offense. But
Mhm.
what do you think is? Do you think that in the future it's going to be even more difficult to come up with a revolutionary defensive scheme?
Yeah, I think so, but for more than one reason though. You can't on in basketball. If I have the ball and you're in front of me, I have all the advantages. So
Yeah.
if I can't actually, if I get beat a little bit, if I can't actually get my hand on your shoulder, your side, your hip to recover, then I'm gonna
freedom
be beat.
freedom of movement, right?
Yeah, if I can't touch you at all, and no in no shape or way, if I can't touch you, then I'm at your mercy. So that's one reason why it's hard to play defense. The second reason is I just don't think guys are bought into the defensive end. I don't think guys really want to play defense. You do have a handful of maybe what how many guys are there in the league? Like 450? Of that 450,
Yeah,
I would say there's probably
close to 500, right?
yes, something like that. 465. I can't tell you the exact number, but I mean, out of that amount, I would probably say there's probably 50 guys, 60 guys that really want to play defense.
And have the mindset.
Yeah. And the ability, the potential to.
But what do you, obviously one part be on the defensive side, obviously one part is instincts, read and reaction, foot speed and different things, lateral speed. But how can a player improve on defense? Because I've seen in the past people talking about it's easily work on your game, on your back, quote unquote, shooting step back threes, shooting pull up to the right, pull up to the left, side steps and different things. But how can you, in a simple way, work on your defense? Like there's not a lot of people doing drills on defense unless you're Patrick Beverly on the beach with the teams, you know?
Yeah, well, that's because people are lazy.
Yeah.
And they, and they, and
Wow,
they, and
that's
they,
a
and they
great
don't.
fucking answer, man.
Yeah, and they don't want to work on it because I had to
Wow.
work. I had to work on defense. I wasn't a skilled. I wasn't. I didn't start really getting skilled like that until I was probably like 15, 16. So all my life I had to play defense. My mom taught me from a young age the 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 fact I used to just try to go block shots, and she taught me like if you play defense before you block shots, you'll block more shots. You stay in front of your man, you beat him to the spot. A lot of it is just the mindset. Uh, Angles. If the guy's going this way, I don't ride him. I'll get off him and beat him to the spot, turn him. There's drills. There's drills. We did drills all the time. My coach used to teach us, different ways, better ways to play defense. The when you're matched up with your guy, which leg to drop. If he jabs me, if I take the jab with my high foot, then I'm beat. If he jabs me and I take the jab with my back foot, I can recover either way. It's those are simple things. People refuse to learn it because they don't want to.
Yeah.
It's, you can get better at defense if you want to. You can get quicker. You can do what is it, plyo dots, all that type of stuff that help your
Yeah.
foot speed. You can get on the ladder. You spend 30 minutes on the ladder 4 times, 3 times a week. Your foot speed is going to increase. You get on those higher.
Stamina.
Yeah, football players work on their foot speed and all types of stuff like that. So how come basketball players can't?
Yeah, that's a great point. That I was gonna do a segue there. Obviously, when you are very familiar with football, I'm Chiefs fans, but it's very
Okay.
different playing football, where you can set up the play, where you can communicate to your teammates, and you have to execute it. But then, if it doesn't work, you have to do it again. You have three
Mm-hmm.
tries,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes four. But it's very different, like playing basketball, where you have to play when you are tired, play through exhaustion,
Yeah.
and that's very different. So that's to me sometimes it's easier to understand maybe football, where you have to align in a certain way the wide receivers, the offensive line, and all the other
Mm-hmm.
stuff. But in basketball, everything is happening so fast that sometimes it's difficult.
Yeah, yeah, I hear that. I don't know. It's that's the beauty of basketball to me. There's so much stuff to it. I really call it an art. It's a science, because basketball is one of those sports where it's just not fair. Like I can do
Yeah.
everything I can do, but if I have one defensive breakdown over here on this side of the play from something that had nothing to do with me, that's a bucket. As opposed to where in football it's the same thing, but if the play is getting ran this side of the field and this defender over here doesn't do what they're doing. There's no consequence to the play. So basketball is just it's an art form. It's a science, and there's just so subtle differences like how you're comparing basketball and football.
Yeah, and obviously the impact of one player can be way different in football than basketball. I needed to ask you this. What
Mhm.
can you explain to me in the audience? Obviously, what is defensive terms the roamer? I've been hearing that term a lot. Obviously, I understand it in some type of
Mhm.
way. Like Draymond is the type of guy who is in the backside of the defense, reading the whole situation, and he's
Yeah.
like cleaning everyone's mistakes in defense. But what is a roamer?
Yeah, well, to my understanding, to the best of my knowledge, I think that's the Romer where, if you got a guy on this side of the floor that's not a very shooter, he's not a great shooter, he's not much of a threat on offense, then we can kind of lag off of him. This is the guy that we help off of. So if I was guarding him, if the ball's on the left side of the court, I can play the middle and make sure there's no cutters coming. I can aggressively play these passing lanes. I can be the weak side help for the big. If my big man wants to front, then I'll come weak side and get that block. So the roamer, and for me when I do my coaching, I like to have my roamer be one of my better defenders too, as opposed to just a guy that's somebody with a high IQ. You want a high IQ guy to be a guy or a lady to be your roamer. In my opinion, you want
And
somebody that
athleticism,
knows.
right? Too.
Yeah, if you want somebody that knows, like, okay, I can go now, or I need to get back. You don't want somebody that's just out there just taking every risk. So, but yeah, to my the best of my knowledge, that's what I would call your roamer.
Great,
Somebody
great thing.
the cleaner man, the garbage man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The one who deals with the dirty word.
Yeah.
We had like 3 minutes more left. I don't want to take advantage of your time. I gotta go home too, and I gotta call the Nuggets and Suns game.
Oh,
What do
okay.
you think? What do you think are some changes or upgrades that need to be done with the Sacramento Kings, man? Obviously Harrison Barnes is a free agent. What do you? I
Mhm.
think they have to work on the small forward position, even though they had Keegan Murray, y'all had Keegan Murray. But what do you think are some of the upgrades that y'all need to do for the next season? Because you have a very successful season this season.
Yeah. I think we have the roster. I think it's mostly Keegan Murray just getting better. I think if Keegan Murray just gets a step better this offseason, I think that helps. I've heard rumor of us going after Jeremy Grant and letting Harrison Barnes go. I love Harrison Barnes. I'm happy for what he's done for the Sacramento Kings, but I think it's about time for us to make a move with Harrison Barnes. I think maybe a sign and trade. I would like to get maybe a more of an athletic power forward that can help Demontis on the glass, rebounding. Maybe sign another vet big. I wish we would have signed Dwight Howard this year. To come back up and be a big down there. So I think if we can get an enforcer, powerful, an enforcer that's a center that can maybe play at the same time as Demontis too. If we can get one of those type guys, and I would like to go after Jeremy Grant in the free agency. Like I said, maybe sign and trade Harrison Barnes. Go after a guy like John Collins. I would like a move like that. Other than that, I think we're pretty good. We don't have expectations of winning the championship this year. I don't think we'll have the expectations of winning the championship next year, but we just need to make a step forward. It's for us, as far as I'm concerned. I've been a Sacramento Kings fan for about 25 years, so it's not championship or bust for me. I'm with the building process. So I think we just keep getting our younger guys better. Keegan Murray, Davion Mitchell, um, Kevin Herter kind of get his mind together. He can't go through those type of slumps anymore. He's got to be a little more consistent for us. And other than that, I think we're good. I think we're okay.
With Fox, obviously a future superstar, with
Mm-hmm.
Mike Brown being coach of the year
Mm-hmm.
unanimously. My last question to you, man, is what do you think? What's your opinion about Joker, man? Today came up that Mark Jackson didn't have him on his ballot. On the for the MVP, he put Donovan Mitchell, SGA, and another players. What do you think about Joker? What can you tell me about Nikola Jokic?
I think he got robbed. I think that's the MVP this year. I think
Wow,
I think he's
really?
got, yeah, and I think he's
I'm
pissed
I'm a
off
great
about it
Nicola
too.
fan, by the way.
Yeah, I think he's pissed off about it too. I think he's playing that. Uh, Now I want to see a Philadelphia, Denver finals. I need to see that.
A big
That'll
man
help.
matchup.
Yeah, that will help settle a lot of debates. If we can get Joel and Nikola Jokic matched up in the finals, bro, I would love to watch it. I'm not a fan of either team, but that would be something I would like to see just for that matchup right there. And that would that would be talks of the summer. We need that to help us through the summer. We can we could debate like so who's really better.
Storyline.
Yeah, the storyline would be great. That'll carry as far as the player's choice. That'll carry us halfway through the summer.
Yeah, that would be
Yeah,
great, man. And obviously, I'm a great Denver Nuggets fan and great Joker fan. But obviously, in the mainstream media, you're never gonna hear that Jokic is averaging more points in this series against Phoenix than Devin Booker. Devin
mm,
Booker has been on a run on a streak like Michael Jordan, but
yeah.
Jokic is averaging more points. But I really appreciate you being here, man. I learned a lot. I learned a lot of today, man. I really appreciate you stopping by, man.
Once again, man, the pleasure is mine. Hopefully, I can get you over to my channel sometime, and I
Yeah, for
appreciate
sure.
you.
I've seen your lives, man. They are very um they are great.
Yeah, well, I drop the link in them all the time, and sometime come click on it. We'll get together.
For
I
sure,
appreciate you
man.
for having me. Hope I can come back sometime, man.
Man, thanks to everybody. There is Guillermo Rivera and there was Horus here. Today was Big Ox from Players Choice with us on the MOP podcast. Shout out to everybody, man. Once again, where we will try to get another guest for an episode in the future. But today was a great guest. Hopefully you had a great time today, Bobby. I
Definitely.
really appreciate you being here, man.
No doubt, man. Thanks a lot, bro. Appreciate you.
So that was it, man. Until next time, peace, everybody. I'm out. Thanks, Bobby. I really appreciate it, man.
No problem, bro.